It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, got to play one more audio cut from Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
All right, one more audio here. And this is on Kamala Harris's new book and her book tour.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right.
You Kamala Harris. What the hell you think this book tour is doing? Your political career is over. It's over. I don't say that with a smile on my face. I don't say that proudly. I say it with utter disgust because I wished better for you. But when we talk about you in this book, we're talking about you calling out Josh Shapiro and Pete Buttigieg and the Obamas and Tim Walz and Joe Biden. Everybody but you. Where's the accountability?
See, for me, I can't get past when he does this. If I turn, and I'll see him on YouTube, and it's like his predictions this week are the top 5 teams, the top 5 NFL teams, and it's the same kind of energy and yelling. And I just get a kick. Doesn't matter whether he's trying to figure out the NFL teams or Kamala Harris, but oh my gosh! But that's funny. I will say something. I was wrong. I said way back when the book was announced that I have no interest in her book. Well, I'm still not going to read the book, but I have a great interest in how the left is responding to it.
This is the greatest part about it is that I still don't feel like I need to read the book because I can watch Democrats actually and the left respond to it and get the gist of it. I mean, we pretty much do. It's everybody but me. It was everybody else's fault. Look,
the fury is just...
She named it 107 days. She starts by making the excuse.
Yeah, it's a great point. That's the
title itself.
107 days is an excuse. Yeah, I didn't have enough time.
Right. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, it was less than that in terms of the Trump administration sealing the border once he got sworn in. It was a matter of weeks. And but it's typical. No one should be surprised for her to write about Tim Walz. You chose Tim Walz.
Oh, my gosh.
That's your choice. You don't even realize what you're saying. That was your choice. And then she makes every excuse. Well, we couldn't. We only had 107 days. We can't choose an openly gay candidate because he's openly gay. Well, wait a minute. That's wrong for you to say that's why you didn't. I'm not saying I didn't choose him because he's gay, but I didn't choose him because he's gay.
The Rachel Maddow interview you're talking about, that was the best we played this week.
I mean,
when she said, I'm not saying. I was really Rachel Maddow. I was very disappointed when I read in the book that you turned him down because he was gay. I didn't turn him down because he was gay. I turned him down because there was only 107 days and he was gay.
Right.
And then you turned him down because he was gay.
Everyone knows you need more time if the person is gay. It's a simple formula. 107 days isn't going to get it done for you. I mean,
I was
wow.
Obama could have been grappling on that with gay marriage. I was for gay marriage if there was a 108-day waiting period.
Right, exactly. Well, I think his grappling was more than 108 days.
Oh, yes, his
Remember
grappling
that
was for a
where he
while.
went
Yes,
from,
it was
from
grappling.
marriages between a man and a woman to he's grappling and evolving. Yeah, that was probably more than 108 days that he grappled. But that's the whole.
See,
Yeah, it's the entertaining part of this is really the exposure of the reality of it.
well,
And that is the nothingness that is Kamala Harris and was that failed campaign. But they had the example. They had the example. December 3rd of 2019. She didn't make it to 2020. She ran out of money. Donors weren't confident. Her staff was falling apart because the morale was horrible. There was no leadership with her own staff for her campaign that led her to drop out in December of 2019. And if that weren't enough, remember the interview. We played the audio from Anderson Cooper. And I forget who was interviewing, but it was September of 23 when he did the interview, and he's asking the person, well, wait a minute. Okay, well, if Biden is going to run again, shouldn't he change the VP pick?
Yes.
I mean, it was just like
It just wasn't him. That was across the board in Florida. He needs to get rid of Kamala Harris. And the reason is because people don't think he can make it through the next 4 years. So you need somebody who is competent to be vice president.
Exactly.
They weren't even think about this. Democrats weren't worried about the cognitive problems of Joe Biden. They were more worried about the second in command and didn't want her to be vice president for a second term.
Because there was a threat that at some point she might become president.
Yeah. What?
For them, for the Democrats, they were worried about
Right.
that.
The reason I love the book is because it basically might just as well be titled the biography of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Because it contains everything
It's
that's
all the
wrong
elements.
with the Democratic Party. And the funny thing is, when you have now, we played the Biden advisor saying it's horrible that she's making these judgments and talking about, that she's a black woman and a black woman with a Jewish husband and a gay running mate can't get elected. It's horrible. And I'm laughing because that was a Biden advisor who was saying that. I can't remember his name at the moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm laughing going, but you guys are all about identity politics. That's all you care about.
Right.
is skin color, religion, whatever.
Well, Biden himself, when he was running, before he picked a running mate, they asked him, who are you going to pick? And he says, I don't know, but I know it will be a black woman.
Right. And so everything really, it's about, again, you don't take personal responsibility for anything. It's always somebody else's fault. You're doing great. Remember, it was, she threw Biden under the bus, Tim Walz under the bus. Did I say Obama? Obama under the bus. She's thrown the New York Times for not endorsing her. Was it the New York? Whoever didn't endorse her, the Times or the Post. Everything was somebody else's problems. Nothing was because of her and the fact that she sucked as a candidate and sucked on all of the issues. Mm-hmm. That's the reality. Mm-hmm. So, but it got to the point of being hilarious when she was like, basically, I can't have, it's 107 days. I can't have a gay running mate. For God's sakes, I'm a black woman married to a Jewish man. And it's like, do you think 99% of the population was thinking that?
Right.
Do you think, I'll say this, do you think 99.9% of the population was thinking, I can't vote for Kamala Harris because she's a black woman with a Jewish husband?
No.
They didn't even know that.
No,
and
she's making excuses.
And she's making the excuses. Everything is based on identity politics. If she truly thought that way, it shows that her entire worldview is based on identity.
Right.
Not on what you believe you can do and what you can accomplish.
Right.
Now, it was a horrible campaign, starting out with the ad that one of my finest moments ever. And I said nothing in talk radio, though, sitting there listening to you. We played the ad first, and we said, we have to play this on the air.
Mm-hmm.
This is her first ad. And it was about how she was going to be stronger on the border and get that wall built, and how Donald Trump was so weak when it came to border issues. And we're like, how many times? We probably played it 10 times during the show.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't have to do anything tonight.
She
Just play
seriously
this.
wanted you to believe, as Kamala Harris, she was going to be stronger on the border than Donald Trump.
Then remember, about a month later, she had to back off it.
Yeah.
It was like,
Right.
Well, what do you think? It's like,
Well, because
Completely clueless.
that's also, again, a perfect example of where the party is, right?
yeah,
To your point. And that is that you've got to be full-on radical all the time. You can't be strong on the border. You can't do anything that is less than radical.
well, I mean, it was really horrible what she did, because look at one of the consequences, for example, because of her book. Her book was so bad that Pete Buttigieg had to come out and say that identity politics is not what he's about at all.
Right.
And nobody bought that.
Nobody bought that. Right. Which tells you he's still thinking about a run in 28.
Oh, yeah.
He still thinks because people like him in Iowa that he could win.
Oh.
But that's the whole thing.
And now she's going on
really
the book.
Is,
oh,
it's like this weird, we used to say Pong. Remember the game?
yeah.
Pong.
Yeah.
But it's just like a ramped up version of this a bunch of little dots inside this casing that are just bouncing off the wall over and over again, because they all have to be all over the place all the time. Pete Buttigieg has been a vital part of the whole identity politics. And any of the Democrats who are saying right now that, oh, well, we can't go down that road and we shouldn't be doing this, they too are a big part of building all of that.
She was in New York City to launch her book tour to promote 107 Days. And apparently she was taking questions from an audience there and was asked about a 9-month pregnant mom's concerns over having a baby boy under the Trump administration. But again, that shows you the problem. Any person who's concerned about having a child because who is president of the United States shows you the pathology of dependency like you can't believe.
Yeah.
Because if you believe that the president of the United States has got anything to do with how you raise your kids,
Right.
it shows you how delusional you are. But
Right.
She responded with one of the campaign phrases. She started celebrating the children of the community. Remember that one? But she said, part of how I was raised was to think about things that the children of the community are our children of the community. She said it again like that in consecutive phrases. Our children of the community are our children of the community.
The question isn't, did she use a ghostwriter? The question is, how many ghostwriters did she use to put the sentences together for the book?
Right, but this wasn't in the book.
I know.
Yeah,
but this is that I'm demonstrating how there's no way she wrote that book on her own, given the word salads that every time she talks openly. I said that before we knew the book was coming out. I said, look, don't do speeches. Go out and get a ghostwriter to write your book. But I'm guessing she used more than one.
I just love that. Part of how I was raised was to think about things that the children of the community are our children of the community. And we all have some, I think, responsibility. You can call it moral responsibility. You can think of it in different ways, but to be invested in their well-being and success. The hell did that mean? My answer would have been, don't worry about it. Raise your child the way you want to raise your child.
Love your children.
Love your children. Who is president of the United States has got no bearing on you and your children. That's between you your spouse, and your child.
And if you
Between
yourself,
you and your spouse, not your child. Your child you have to raise.
if you, as a would-be parent, are living in that kind of fear, maybe you shouldn't be a parent.
Yeah, exactly, right. But then she says word salad, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
She made absolutely no sense.
Right. She didn't write that book.
She still can't
She was
connect the
talking
dots.
to somebody, and then somebody had to think about that being the ghostwriter for her. It's like, the publisher calls you you're the ghostwriter. The publisher calls you. Hey, so how's it going? Oh my gosh.
Well,
this is the worst job ever.
It was a ghostwriter of the community who is a ghostwriter of the community.
Well, the thing about ghostwriters, they're ghostwriters.
I like that song, Ghost Writers in the Storm.
It's Sky. Yeah.
And it was writers, not writers.
Yes. Yes.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Does spring and summer weather play a key role in how and when tree leaves change colors in the autumn? Amy Bailey of the U.S. Forest Service in New Hampshire says yes, with this year in her home region of New England as an example. Springtime started with
approximately 24 inches of rain in April, May, and June, which is twice what you usually get.
increasing both fungal disease and insect damage during spring foliage development. That was followed by a summer of extreme heat and drought conditions.
Leaves are starting to turn, but a lot of them are drought stressed, so it's kind of a premature representation of the fall colors,
which usually transition later in the autumn. Bailey says, in addition, trees in other areas, especially those either with fungal or pest damage from the spring or rooted in shallow soils, are presenting brown, perhaps even shriveled, leaves. I'm Ron Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
We are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. You know, the big censoring story was not Jimmy Kimmel this week. That really wasn't the big story. The big story was the whole Google story that came out.
Yeah.
What Google admitted to.
Right.
And said the Biden administration was involved in over a period of a day or 2 days or one instance, over and over and over and over, thousands and thousands of people on YouTube.
Yep.
Censored. Why? The Biden administration wanted it. They admitted it. There was no one. Did you hear any Democrats stand up and say what Google admitted to is wrong?
No, I didn't hear anyone on the left mentioning that.
Not one. And so in a case where seems like ABC made it clear, ABC Disney made it clear, no, we did this because Nexstar and Sinclair didn't, they were so upset, so we suspended him. They didn't seem like Trump had anything to do with it.
Right. Right.
And so that was just, the left is going crazy when somebody suggested, and I don't like it suggested. You and I are both free speech. Absolute. As close as you can get. Fire in the theater, stuff like that. But here you have it. Finally, it was released.
Yeah.
Massive censoring of Americans by authorized and, threatened by Democrats to Google, and Google succumbed to it.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. So I want to continue because I think it's important here to talk to be on this the narrative of the whole censoring debate this week, and the whole story about Google. And I mean, we brought it to you yesterday, and I'm sure you saw it yesterday. It was maybe the mainstream media didn't cover it as much as they should, but the massive censoring that Google was involved in with YouTube, that Alphabet, I guess, right, would be it.
Yeah, their parent company is Alphabet.
Is Alphabet, and how they admitted it was the Biden administration officials that were consistently telling them what to censor. And this goes back to the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. And first off, as we have seen, it wasn't what Trump said. But if you want to see what Pam Bondi said, and then who else put out a statement after it? Who had said something? Well, I know Pam Bondi's statement, for example, was universally, when she talked about, going after people for hate speech, she was eviscerated by everybody on the right. Mm-hmm. Everyone.
Yeah.
To the point where Trump completely dropped, the FCC commissioner. The FCC commissioner coming out
right.
and talking about it. All of them, they dropped it completely because the pressure came from where? Inside their own party.
Yep.
And when Ted Cruz came out, the evidence is there is no more. Well, I mean, I don't know how he's viewed right now, but Ted Cruz was not favored by MAGA a few years back at all. And Ted Cruz came out and went after the FCC commissioner. I don't know if he mentioned Bondi in it, but he went after and made it clear that the Republican Party is the party of free speech. And all of the stuff, whether it was Carr or Bondi or Trump implying about Kimmel, whatever, all of that was dropped to the point where Trump's victory was saying, well, we need to see whether this would be a illegal Kimmel is an illegal campaign contribution. And we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But the reason that it was dropped was there wasn't one person of prominence in the Republican Party that supported either regulating hate speech or agreeing with the FCC commissioner that you should be punished, that the public interest had something to do with the content that you were carrying on the air.
Right.
Should be censored by in some way or punished by the FCC.
Right.
They dropped it completely. It was dropped within a matter of days. The only reason that happened was because of the universal condemnation from the right on that. That doesn't happen on the left.
No, you're not going to see that. Again, you have a few on the left that are coming out and calling out the radicals in the party, but you're not seeing the complete condemnation of what's going on and what they're doing. Yeah. Where is, in
not
fact,
the members of Congress,
the left, exactly, and where is the left that is in unison for calling out the people who were celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
Yep.
You didn't see that.
Nope.
You had only a few that said that's wrong, you shouldn't be doing it. And but again, that resets the table if you need it, if you need a reminder of where they are on the left. And the fact that I believe it's a fact that they're not going to change. The radicals have such a grasp have such control over the left, you're not about to call them out with everybody else on that side calling them out in unison. That's you're light years from that happening. I don't think that will happen again in my lifetime.
Right. And the Republicans can't let, the Democrats even ever attempt to get the high ground on censoring. Not after the laptop, not after the Google story. They did it.
Yeah.
They did it. The left goes nuts if Trump or anybody's administration talks about it, but the talk even stops because inside the Republican Party and the conservative movement, that was stopped dead in its tracks.
Yeah.
Bondi was eviscerated because hers was really the worst statement of them all. And she was eviscerated where she had to backtrack the next day and make it, I don't like the way she backtracked. She made it seem like that nobody understood what she was trying to say. Here's what I was clearly trying to say. No, you weren't. And you get called out on it. But that stopped. The story comes out. Is there any contemplation from any Democrat saying, we can't get caught doing this anymore? We can't do what we did with YouTube. We can't do what we did with the New York Post. We can't do this stuff. That if we're going to criticize the Republicans for even mentioning the possibility of doing it and make that as if the sky is falling and Armageddon is here, yet we did it for years.
Yeah.
And just completely pretend like it never happened before. That's the difference between the two parties.
Yeah.
Right there. That's why you can't look at it and go, well, on censoring, it's both sides. No, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it isn't.
You can't make. Well, because I heard they might have said it, they didn't do it. And why didn't they do it? Because the members of their party and members of Congress stood up and said, no way. And the conservative media was 100% against any discussion of censoring.
Right.
In fact, what you saw was more talk like we talked about, that the whole public interest thing should go away.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
the
I did see
FCC,
that. Yeah.
the FCC should not be involved in
Right.
any type of judging any content that's on radio and TV. That's a load of horse manure.
Right.
That's antiquated. There's too many other. They don't stand alone anymore. Even if you thought it should be back then, they don't stand alone anymore.
By the way, it was a few days after that the FCC on their X page posted, and the post was delete, 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 and then below it they said what they deleted, and it was like all of these like 80-something requirements and these rules and blah, blah, blah. And I said, somebody at the FCC is trying to cover their tracks. They're trying to backtrack and show what we think, basically responding to what conservatives believe in terms of the FCC's role. And when you jump over the line like that, it's not going to ever be received well from the right, ever. Pam Bondi, FCC, this is counter to what we believe and counter to Charlie Kirk's vision and mission statement.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, Pam Bondi got it wrong twice on free speech and then got it wrong that that was said, Charlie Kirk wouldn't want this.
Well, and it's not just that you couldn't read the room. It seems like for a moment you exchanged your brain for somebody on the left.
I know. Yeah. Yep.
You've got to be at every level when you're at that level on every topic. You've got to be very careful about how you're going to approach something. And that's not misspeaking, by the way. That wasn't misspeaking.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You know?
And it wasn't that her audience didn't understand the point she was trying to make. We understood the point you were trying to make.
Right.
We don't know why you were trying to make that point because we never heard that come out of Pam Bondi before.
Exactly.
But all we know was the content that she wrote was totally unacceptable and completely and totally unconstitutional.
Because in that moment, it's okay to say, we believe in free speech.
Yeah.
We should know how these people think.
Exactly. Last thing I want to do, we've said this over and over again, the last thing we ever want to do is to shut up the left or have them feel intimidated that, okay, we're not really going to tell you what we think. We're going to go underground.
Right.
No. Let them believe. Let them live in their bubble. Gavin Newsom, let him believe because he lives in his California bubble that he can say anything.
Yeah. Oh, he loves that blue bubble.
Yeah.
You know, he stepped out of it for a minute to debate Governor DeSantis in Florida. That didn't go well.
No.
As we said before that debate, you're gonna have to have those debates on the stage. You know, this is another thing about controlling the way people talk. They've gotten away with, in presidential debates, the activist media controlling the narrative and everything that they were saying. The left has gotten away with controlling those debates as well. We said years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what they ask you. You control what you say on that stage.
Right.
And if you don't know that tactic, if you don't know how to effectively redirect and get your points across, then practice. I don't know how much practice it's going to take. That may vary, but you have to be in control of what you say on stage. And Gavin Newsom is still living in the world and that if he's planning on running in 28, where the activist media controls the debate stage too.
And we also told them decades ago, get out. Don't let the Presidential Commission on Debates control it. We said
in today's
a long time
world,
ago.
you can reach out to the American people.
And they did.
Anytime you want. Yep.
They did, and they did.
Yep.
Last election was when they did it.
Yep. You can debate. You can get your point across anytime you want, and you control your messaging, full stop. You know, the left is very weak, extremely weak in debating, and Newsom is right up there. You know, he wasn't going to get a debate from Stephen Colbert. I think Colbert was too smitten. Maybe it's the hair gel.
Oh, my God.
Gavin with the good hair. But that's, but again.
They're bros.
Exactly. Friendly setting, friendly audience. You know, you can be as tough as you want. You can call the president an SOB. Ooh. Oh. Okay. That's all right. Let's have the debate.
But all the points that Comey made, everything that he said about Donald Trump way back then, all a lie.
Yeah.
All a concoction of the Hillary campaign and the DNC with the cooperation of the intelligence agencies and then the management of the FBI, including Comey, that knew they were false. We know that now. They're all a bunch of pathological liars.
And
we
Comey,
know that.
Comey thought he was going to be a hero. Still today thinks he's a hero.
I know. 866-98 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara along with Eric Harley. Go ahead.
Enjoy your birthday tomorrow.
Go ahead. One last shot. Go
Happy
ahead.
birthday.
Well, thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Listen, relax. Go to dinner around 2 p.m. Come home, do some Matlock. Come on, man. What's not to love?
Be asleep by 7:30.
Be asleep by 7:30? Up at 3 a.m.? Come on. Up every hour, but What's not to love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least I can say my dad's almost 30 years older than me,
Well,
and he's still doing.
yeah.
He's still doing well.
Well, good. And give him our best when you see him this weekend.
I will.
And yeah, you got that going for you. I mean, genetically, I guess we both do. Now, I may ruin that for my kids.
Well,
Hopefully I won't, but
genetically, I could live long enough to see the end of the world.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Think positive.
Right. Here's hoping.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.